Good afternoon, YouTubers. Today I'm going to show you how to change out a battery, testing, corrosion cleaning, and reinstalling properly on this particular vehicle is a 2004 Kia Rio. The battery is obviously the least of its problems. So let's get started. So first off, this battery is actually good, but I'm going to show you how to change it anyway and test it. You have an ohm meter. This is a cheap one from Craftsman. I think it was like 20 bucks. Put it on DC volts. And then you're going to put the negative, which is black. Black's always negative. Red is always positive. So you're going to put negative and the positive, and then you're going to see exactly what volts it reads. This is going to be 12.47, so it's good. If it's less than 12, it's shot, and even after you charge it, it loses charge. As long as it's over 12, it's 12 and a half and up, it's 12.47, but this battery is good. It cranks every time. So you know your battery is good. If it's less than 12, it's shot. You can try charging it, but the best bet is don't charge it with the system, because one, the system's not going to charge it completely. The alternator is not designed to charge it from the beginning of the battery. It's meant to maintain it. So if you have a bad battery, then you want to change it. Get yourself a 10mm socket. 10mm is usually the size that is used on batteries, from what I've encountered. And if you notice that your terminals are corroded, like mine's actually is, I have neglected it. It's my fault. What you need to do, actually I didn't put this one in, somebody did when I bought the car, so it's their fault. Yeah. And that squeakiness. Because and they're gonna get corroded if you don't put any protectant. Just take it out, and then now to clean the terminals, you can use a wire brush. You can use an alkaline solution like baking soda. But me, I don't really require, I don't use that. Just clean them real good with a wire brush. And of course, make sure your new terminals are clean. And there, I mean, you can use a nice stiff wire brush and that'll work just fine. And do the same thing to the terminals. My terminals are actually pretty corroded from within. So what I'm gonna do is use 5% distilled vinegar, put it on a rag. And then installation is removal. If you want, you can get the little tray that it's on. This one's not even connected. It's kind of get the dust out. And when you do replace a battery, make sure it's the proper fitment. You could use a different different size battery if it's smaller, and just find another way to mount it if they don't have it on stock. As long as it's a 12 volt and your cold cranking amps are the same. But even if the cold cranking amps are lower, I've used lower on other vehicles, it's just fine. Cold cranking amps is the limit. Just like they measure watts in stereos, that's its max wattage. It's not always. So even if you get a battery, as long as it's a 12 volt battery, which most cars are. That's in an extreme case, obviously. So let that dry out. Get our battery. Of course, make sure you put the positive a positive. There's always a plus and there's always a minus, a negative sign. And re-clean these. Clean this up a little bit. Get all the dust out. If it's a new battery, of course, you don't have to do all change the actual battery, but actually I still have some corrosion on that one. Okie dokie. Now for corrosion, you can use dielectric grease. This is grease that it's made for electrical connections. There's a spray that does it, but I have this, so. And then you can apply. Some apply it to the terminals. They're in between the terminals and the posts, but there's theories that say you gotta have metal to metal insured. I do kind of believe that theory. It makes more sense than anything. But there is actually another video that I've seen. I've never tested it myself, where there is no significant voltage drop, but although depending on the grease, if it hardens up over time from heat. But you gotta really protect corrosion against both moisture from the outside and the battery. And if it's gonna be like the what you might call it, if it's gonna be like the corrosion that I cleaned up earlier, it's white. That's from the battery. Some cars corrode, some don't. So I mean, my Volkswagen hasn't had its terminals corroded, and since we bought it, that was 2 years ago, and we've had this battery since almost 2 years as well. No, actually not even barely a year, and it's corroded like crazy. I think it depends on battery quality, I'm assuming, because a lot of the acids seeps out, I guess. I'm not really too much of an expert, but so I just kind of coat it, and then put it back on, and there you go, you're set. Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't know to put grease on a battery terminal, but just knock it up. Do that by hand, so this stuff is messy, so you get it everywhere. You have to clean it up. Okay, and that's it. Now if you made it to the end of this video, we'll recap. We tested the battery with an ohm meter on DC volts, 12.5 volts or more. If it starts and you want to test your battery, you can start it with the ohm meter hitting it still, and it'll read 14 volts. Always take the negative off first. And that's it. I mean, any questions or comments or whatever. And this stuff you can buy at AutoZone, Amazon, wherever. It's cheaper as you buy bigger tubes, of course. And use this for spark plugs as well. And if your car doesn't start after changing the battery, and also don't charge the battery, try to charge it with the system. Take it to an O'Reilly's or an AutoZone or a shop, or buy a battery charger yourself. And that's also another thing too I want to mention. If you don't drive your car too often, like my wife, she goes to work in this little piece of junk, maybe 4 miles each way. We don't drive much. The battery, it's going to end up losing charge because there's not a sufficient amount of time to keep it up. And this battery did read kind of low for that reason. It still starts the car, but so what you want to do is invest in a battery charger. They're like 50, 60 bucks, or take it out real quick and go get it recharged at an O'Reilly's to keep the longevity of it. Because as you deplete batteries, they end up they just end up giving out eventually, and you're gonna end up replacing it more. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe or hit like button or comment, you want to draw any comments. Why is there a hair right here? It's disgusting. What the f? Anyway, yeah. And I will make sure to post more how-tos on things. Bye-bye, guys. Batteries, aren't they nice?